Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Christina and welcome to 2018 on my channel. I wanted to do something a little bit different to start off the new year. I wanted to kind of do like a basics video, like a 101 makeup on how I do a few things. The first one is going to be I have no makeup on. So I'm going to be doing a flawless base, flawless foundation routine. I'm going to show you how I do my whole foundation and also a little bit of natural contouring because I've been asked a lot about that actually. The second one is going to be how I do my eyebrows and how to get yourself some eyebrows. The third is going to be for how to apply eyelashes. Well, I'm going to start by pulling my hair back. Yes, I am back to blonde. I know. My hair is going to need a little bit of rest. I'm going to be drinking my coffee the whole time. The first thing that I want to talk about whenever I do my flawless base routine. Everybody's going to be different. Everybody's going to have their own little niche, little thing. But I think that's the greatest thing about makeup is everybody has something to talk about. Everybody has their own way of doing things. So take what you can from this, apply what you can from this, and I hope it does help you. The very first thing that I will tell anybody about foundation, because they're like, well, what kind of foundation do you like? Or what kind of thing? Is you have to think about your skincare. The number one thing I'm going to tell you to do is drink water. Other than that, you really need to get a really good skincare regimen. I just washed my face, so I'm actually going to do my skincare. So I'm actually using some of the Regenrist Olay. This one is the Regenrist Micro Boost Concentrate, and I did get the fragrance free. This is kind of like the serum, and it's kind of like an extra peptide, like prep for your skin. It kind of helps your moisturizer soak in a little bit better, so that's why I use that. And then for my moisturizer, I'm just using the Olay Regenrist Micro Sculpting Cream, and this is in fragrance free. Put that all over my face too. I just started using this. This is a totally new product for me, especially like I just got this over Christmas. I am absolutely in love with it. Again, there's no greasy feeling. It just soaks into your skin, but I can see it like smoothing down a lot of the wrinkles and lines that I like, the little fine lines that I'm starting to get. You can use a lot of different primers. I usually just use, because of the ingredients, and there's glycerin. Glycerin kind of like gets your makeup to stick. So I don't usually use too many primers unless I'm like wanting like a super dewy look. Then I would use like MAC Strobe Cream. Again, it's a primer moisturizer. Or I would use like in the summer, I'll use something because my skin, because I'm you're sweaty and I'm a lot more oily then. So I'll use something like the LORAC Pore Perfecting Mattifying Face Primer. So it's oil-free, paraben-free, fragrance-free, and I just use a little bit of that. And it kind of like, it's silicone-y, so it kind of gives your skin a little bit more of like, it kind of keeps the oil at bay during the summer. I do have also the Loreal Magic Perfecting Base, which I really like. I actually had this in my makeup kit, and I use this on brides and bridesmaids. I guess I'm just gonna use a little tiny bit so that it doesn't settle into fine lines and wrinkles. But I tend to not, you can use a little bit of this. I tend to not use a lot of these on a daily basis just because I just don't like a ton of stuff sitting on my face if I don't really need it. We have our face moisturize, and it's prepped for everything. Because I have unbelievably crazy under eyes, I actually have to use a little bit of like a brightening concealer or something to counteract my under eyes. So I'm going to use a little bit. This is the Benefit BOING brightening concealer, and I'm just going to use my finger to take a little bit of that. And the finger I like because it warms it up. Again, not a lot of people are going to have to do this if you don't have a lot of problems with it, but with my health issues and how light I am, I need to get rid of that. So I'm going to show you before and after. I'm just gently pressing it in. You can see brightened, not brightened. I'm not trying to like super duper layer my skin. I'm trying to make my skin look pretty, but not, I want people to say that my skin looks good, not my makeup looks good. Do you know what I mean? Does that make any sense? And I'm just gonna take, this is an Eco Tool sponge, and I'm just gonna blend in those edges a little bit on my eyes just so it's all seamless. For my foundation, I tend to go for fuller coverage foundation. My theory is that I can have a fuller coverage and blend it down, and kind of like blend it out instead of having like a lighter coverage and putting more on my face. I'd rather have a higher coverage and be able to blend all of that out. Current favorite one is the Nars Sheer Glow, and this one is in Mont Blanc Light 2. They don't come with a pump, which I have no idea because this foundation is ridiculously expensive. So I took a pump off of my other one and cut it down and put it on there. So that's not what it's supposed to look like. But whenever I put on my foundation, you can use a sponge. This is the Real Techniques contour one. This is an Eco Tools one too. I tend to not like sponges because I feel like they're just soaking up all the product. I actually prefer to use a brush. If you're looking for something under like $8, the best one, this is the Real Technique sculpting brush. It's more, I like to buff my foundation in. It has a really great angle so you can kind of get in. This is another one. This is my Zoeva 104 buffer brush. Again, it's kind of like a thicker buffing brush that I like because it's almost like you're polishing your skin with the makeup. And then I just got this one, which I'm like totally in love with, is the Morphe M439. Just a big buffer brush. It's a little bit looser, but it's so nice. And what happens is whenever you buff the foundation in, it gets into the skin a little bit better and sits a lot better too. Again, for my skin, this works really well. Some people like to use the sponge to push it into the skin. Again, I just don't prefer these because I feel like I'm losing a lot of my product. So I like to put the makeup directly on my face and I will layer it. So I'm going to start off with a little bit. This stuff is pretty decent coverage. So I always start off with a little bit and then I can always add. It's kind of like cooking. So that's probably about one full pump. And then I take my brush and I start spreading the product and I start pushing it into the skin. And then you'll see me, I'll start buffing it from there. I'm not going to disturb that under eye because it's fine. I'm just going to put a little bit more concealer. And you can see that foundation I didn't use a lot and it actually goes a long way because it's such a great, it's a beautiful foundation. I'm going to put a tiny bit more, another half a pump, and I'm going to mainly focus kind of on the center of my face because that's where I feel like I need that's where I feel like I have a lot more of my pinkness and stuff like that. Is just kind of push that and then buff it into the skin. You can bring it down a little bit on your neck. This matches me this is actually almost like a dead-on match for me, so I'm not too concerned. The foundation kind of just sit into the skin while I do my concealer. I have my Anastasia Beverly Hills concealer, and this one's in 075, and this is a super creamy concealer. And then I also have, the Colourpop came out with a no filter concealer. I think it's like $6. It's awesome. So I'm actually just going to use a little bit of this guy. I like this one because it's on a wand. I'm just going to go through and highlight my face just a little bit. Again, this is just how I do my base. So it has a really nice little wand. So I'm going to go through and I know that I have that darkness under my eyes and we kind of corrected it, but we need to brighten it. So I'm just going to go through and put a little bit of concealer right where I need it. I'm going to go down my nose because I like to highlight that. And then on the sides of my nose, I have a little bit of broken capillaries that I like to kind of get rid of. And then I always put a little bit extra on my chin because I touch my face a lot during the day. I like to highlight just to balance everything out. So this is where I would use a sponge to kind of bounce this in so I don't move that foundation underneath. So I'm just going to go ahead and just push. I'm just pushing this in and blending it. I'm just looking to add a little bit of extra coverage. And it should all be seamless. You shouldn't see like, unless you like that look, but it should all be super seamless. Next, what I'm going to do is I want to contour. There's a few different options for this and I'll show you what I use. My drugstore option for doing like a natural contour, and this thing looks beat up, this is from Maybelline. It's the Master Contour V-Shape Duo Stick Contour and Highlight. So on one side it's supposed to be a highlight, but I got rid of that because I hate it. The other side is a contour. Is like a contour color. Whenever you're doing like a natural contour, especially for lighter skin, you want to kind of think that it's going to be a shadow. Anything light is going to pull color forward. Anything dark is going to kind of push, you're going to see that shadow or push things back. I usually use a cream contour just because I think it lays on the skin a little bit better. You can also use all powder if you want to, but I tend to just kind of like, like this because I think it's just super quick. That would be like a quick affordable one. This was like $8. And then Tarte also has this really cool, it's the Tartest Pro Glo Palette. And you get this really pretty cream contour color too. So I can use that one if I wanted to as well. That's usually what I use for like my higher end stuff. Kind of shorten my forehead because I kind of have a big forehead. So what I'm going to do, again, this is going to kind of push things back. So I always go around my forehead. I like to do my cheeks, so I'll find my cheekbone and I just kind of like, I do this so quickly. Under my cheekbone just to show that cheekbone. And then I do underneath my lip just to make my lip look a little bit bigger, a little bit poutier. And then I just go underneath my neck just to kind of contour. And then I will do a little bit on my nose just to give my nose a little bit of shape. So I'll just go down just very lightly and across it. And all that's gonna do, again, is it's gonna kind of slim my nose down and give my face a different shape. Whenever I go to push this in, I don't wanna move my foundation too much, so I'm just gonna use a Real Techniques Expert brush. It's got a lot of movement into it. And then I just kind of pat and I just kind of swirl in it. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to you just wanna create that depth. So I never go down, I'm gonna go up and blend up. Difference, right? Whatever, you know, if you have a super long face, you would maybe contour up here and a little bit more down here. Wider face, you would probably contour a little bit heavier. It just really depends. I'm not really into like the super duper contouring. I tend to think it ages you a lot. And then the nose, I just gently go over everything. And if I see if everything's a little bit too dark in one area, I'll just go back with my foundation brush and just kind of pat that in. But again, I'm just looking to kind of give my face a little bit of a definition so I don't look like a potato with eyelashes. After you have all of this done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my foundation. I like to use a big fluffy brush to do this because I like to use loose powders. I like to use translucent powder because I already have enough coverage. I'm just looking for something just to lightly set my face because I'm a face toucher at work. You know what I mean? And so I don't want my foundation to move. My favorite translucent powder foundations are Meir, which is gorgeous. That stuff's a little expensive, but it lasts forever. The RCMA finishing powder. This stuff's awesome. I think this guy was $12. I've had it already forever and it's only 3 ounces, but it's a no color powder. This is great for your kit and everything like that. So I do use that a lot. And then my favorite one that I've been using, because I got it on sale, so I've been just trying to use it, is the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores translucent powder. Only need a dab of this. I'm not really into, like, I know baking's a huge trend and stuff like that, but my skin is so dry that if I bake, it just gets cakey and it looks, and it within 2 or 3 hours, my skin is so dry, it's just not a good thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of this. What I'll usually do is I'll take whatever's in the cap and I'll just swirl my this is just a big fluffy kabuki brush from Morphe. It's a B124, and I'm gonna set all of that concealer first. I'm gonna set down the center of my face. So I never used to use like bronzer or anything like that because I was like, I'm too fair. I discovered bronzer is such a great thing for warming up the skin and just making your skin look more alive. So my favorite one is going to be the Tarte Park Avenue Princess. And this is really pretty, especially for fair skin because it's a little bit more of a cool toned. I use a super huge buffer brush, and I'll go ahead and load up my brush. I have my contour here, which I buffed up. I'm going to kind of stay here. Bronzer is really, I mean, like I contour my face a little bit more with it, but bronzer is really meant to warm up the skin like you've been out in the sun. So it would hit any of your high points like you were out in the sun. So I'm kind of go over a little bit where I had the contour, but that looks so much better already. That's all I use. I don't go, like I said, I don't really go crazy with it, but it just makes me feel like I have like a little bit more depth to my face. So after my bronzer, I'm going to use a little bit of blush. I tend to use more pink peachy colors, and this one is Luminoso. It's a well-loved Luminoso. It's by Milani. I like to use a bigger fluffy brush for this, and I'm just going to swirl. I don't like to put it too close to the middle of the face, but I like to kind of put it on top of the cheekbone so you can see it like that. See, that looks so much better. Seriously, my favorite blush ever. So then I like to put a little bit of highlighter on, and that's it for my base. If I want to just kind of natural highlight, I'll just use Soft and Gentle from MAC. And it's just really pretty, like peachy pink one. But today I'm actually just going to use the Tartest Pro Glo Palette, and I'm going to take this on a Morphe M438. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I like a little bit of this one and a little bit of the lightest one. Whenever I highlight my face, I tend to go a little bonkers on the cheeks, personal preference. So what I'll do is I'll go right on, woo, that's a lot of highlighter. I'll go right on top of where I put everything so that when I move my face, and then I go right above the eye, because I feel like whenever you move your face, you can kind of see that really well. And then I take a little bit, whatever's left over, I'll kind of go down my nose, and then I go on my Cupid's bow. Desi Perkins calls this chicken grease. My favorite part is the gradient effect that you have on your cheek. That's like my favorite part, where you have your shine, your pink, And then you have like that cool tone that kind of comes through from the bronzer and the contour. Just a word of the wise, if you do have super textured skin, I would be very careful about highlighter because it'll highlight the texture of your skin too. So word of the wise, be really careful. But that's basically how I do my flawless base. I will usually end my base using, just to soak up if I'm a little powdery, if I do feel like my face is a little bit powdery, and to also set, I'll use a makeup setting spray. This is the Bella Jade Botanicals makeup setting spray. I got this off of Amazon. So that is my flawless face routine. Nice and glowy, pretty skin. This is basically what I do every day. I just kind of switch up some of the products here and there, but the techniques and how I did this is what I do every day. I'm wearing a lot of different products, but I'm not wearing a ton of makeup, and it just makes a huge difference. My favorite thing is a natural glowy skin, and I think I achieved that. Give me 1 second and you're gonna see me with my eyes and my lips done. I'll be right back. So this is the finished look with everything together. Today I'm wearing the DOSE X collection, the DOSE X Katy collection from DOSE Of Colors. This is Hot Fire. This is an amazing lipstick. It feels so vintage, but I just wanted you to see everything put together. You know, this is just a very classic look, classic eyebrow with a red lip. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll list everything that I used below, and I hope you have an amazing day. Thanks.